The conversation around AI tends to be very global north-centric. I come from the international development standpoint, and I find it incredible that so much of the labor that actually builds these big AI tools is actually from the global south. So many of the resources that we rely on are actually from the global south, including in chip manufacturing, all the devices we use. But they are never centered in the conversation around AI and its impact globally, even though the touted benefits are always like, it's going to cure cancer, or it's going to cure climate change, or solve climate change, which is supposedly, and there are people all over the world impacted by that, but the conversation is never centered in a global way. It's always centered much more in a global part.
Could you please introduce yourself? Who are you? Who you're representing? Etc.
Hi, I am Shachee Doshi. I am speaking in my personal capacity, but I work at UNDP, the United Nations Development Program, where I'm working on how we can think through more comprehensively when we are advising governments on AI policies, programs, etc. So just kind of think through their AI readiness and capacity in a comprehensive.
And we're asking everyone, what does human-centered AI, human-centered tech mean to you?
I think for me, it's like centering people who are going to be impacted by AI, first and foremost. And that doesn't necessarily just mean users. I would like us to think more broadly than just users, but impacted people. So when these days, or in fact, in my work, we see governments really wanting to build AI data centers, for example. That's not about a particular AI application, that's the ecosystem in general. And we need to start thinking about the environmental impacts, the policy impacts, the job displacement impacts. Could you investing in AI like that is going to cause, and which communities are going to be impact, either positively or negatively. So it's become less about the user and a lot more about everybody, which is something we've been talking about for a while, but it's becoming more real to people.
On that, is there something else or that, if you want to expand, that you think we should be talking about, we broadly speaking, that we're not talking about right now?
Yeah, I think in general, the conversation around AI tends to be very global north-centric. Again, I come from the international development standpoint, and I find it incredible that so much of the labor that actually builds these big AI tools is actually from the global south. So many of the resources that we rely on are actually from the global south, including in chip manufacturing, all the devices we use. But they are never centered in the conversation around AI and its impact globally, even though the touted benefits are always like, it's going to cure cancer, or it's going to cure climate change, or solve climate change, which is supposedly, and there are people all over the world impacted by that, but the conversation is never centered in a global way. It's always centered much more in a global part.
Could you, on the flip side, do you have an ideal, like technology for good, AI for good? Right now, in this present moment, it's sometimes hard to get in touch with, but do you have a vision?
I think I love technology. I'm not like a techno doomer. I would just love to come back to like building for specific problems rather than building first and then seeing which hole the key will fit into. I'd rather us identify the hole, figure out its shape, and then build teams past that result. I feel like whenever technology's really helped us, it's when there's been a problem, it's there to solve it. And sometimes in the AI debate, we're getting away from problem-specific design and just sort of saying, let's build this foundation, which we know is very, very extractive in so many ways. And perhaps this is not the direction you should be doing this.
That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And I'll shake your hand, and then I will grab your microphone back. It's been amazing to me over the last 6-ish years of being in this, because David and I met 6 years ago, and I've been in the FACT community, at least me. Still, how much we're in our frameworks as opposed to what's actually happening. And I'm it's been so many years of us creating more checklists. I'm come on, let's get problem-centered. Could you? Oh, yeah.
That we don't need to do a pilot anymore.
Right, exactly.
Maybe we could just say this worked, let's do it. And if we're not able to say that, let's re-examine this whole thing, because then what are we doing here? If a decade of this is not telling us where where's the snake oil and where's the gold,
we have the evidence, right? So I'm going to give this to you. You can either keep it, take a picture of it, whatever you want to do. It's more about organization if you want to follow what we're up to. Again, this is Emma, sophomore GW. would you mind when we get this sent out through I'll Take Us Human, we've been collecting emails, if you're okay sharing your email. Oh, it's still on? Oh yeah, we should.